have Robert Chapman joining us from the International Forecaster to get us up to date on what happened this week. Good afternoon, Bob.
Well, good afternoon. Well, the USDX was up 0.70 today. I guess the Treasury was listening to the Chinese who say that they're doing the wrong thing. And so the dollar was made stronger by our government, probably. And gold trailed off a little bit from the spot close. I'll give it to you in a second here. And but the shares were mixed, relatively unchanged one way or the other, which is good after such a big day yesterday. The Dow was up 9. Oil was up 60 cents at 87.09. This looks like it's going to run to 100 here. And gold's up 11.80 and silver's up 67. Looks like we're headed to $30 as we predicted. That's why I bought silver lately, right, Melody?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, Bob.
Is that original?
For today, it is.
Sound like something out of the 1920s.
Hey, we're heading
almost 100 years ago, you know.
Well, we're heading into that type of a time, so.
Well, it was the 30s that were nasty.
This is true.
But they had a good time during the 20s. All the people who didn't drink took it up because you shouldn't drink. Made a lot of alcoholics. And anyway, I said the market did very well today. I would have thought they would have given some gains back, but they didn't. They went up higher. What was that spot close? 1,390 what?
Close to 97, I believe. Not bad.
No, it's pretty good. And silver, I never did see the whole figure when I gave you that 67 or 8 cents a couple of minutes ago.
I don't know if I can get to that screen quickly or not. Oh, let's see what I can do. Spot close.
Yeah, 26.71.
I showed 26.73, but
it's close enough.
Close enough for.
Well, anyway, let's see what we got here. We're being asked about a bank holiday, and we know who started that rumor, that coin dealer without a brain. And, don't you people get it out there? These people come up with these wild assertions so they can sell coins or shares or whatever they're doing. And there's no indications that there's going to be any kind of a bank holiday, nor a nuclear attack. I mean, somebody might sink those 32 ships that are off Bombay. I mean, that is dumb. Lining them up for the slaughter. Anyway, that's my question, and that's my answer. Predictions, and they're always wrong. You think they'd learn. But that's the way of life.
And you know what? Something else I'm also hearing a lot of, Bob, saying, we've talked about this so many times, and what's interesting is I've had people, because the prices are up, they pulled out their portfolios, and their prices from 2006 and, all the way back a couple years and wanting to know what the updates are and stuff like that. But also there's a lot of information. As gold gets higher, you're going to hear more and more crazy things going on. More and more, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And everything is different. And you know what? You stick to the fundamentals. You stick to basics. Keep it simple and basic. And you just got to tune all these other people out. Because what they say is misleading. Very misleading.
Well, I'd like to add to that, and it's not only the misleading part about it, and it's done deliberately.
Yes.
We got another coin dealer, another moron, and both of them have terrible reputations from what I've seen, from what I've heard from subscribers. And he's telling everybody that the stocks belong to the Federal Reserve. I mean, this guy he's been doing it for about a year. He's caused people more problems. There's nothing wrong with the DTC system. It works. And it'll always work. It's to the best advantage of those crooks. So nothing's going to happen to it. But, we have to have these half-baked morons. And, when I was on another show earlier today, the host said to me, well, what do you find disappointing? And I said, all of these people who really have no background in gold and silver, economics, or finance, telling people that they should sell because gold and silver are going down and they can buy it cheaper. Well, all these people are trying to do is sell publications or something. And it's wrong. Now, for the last 5 years, 3 or 4 times a year they do this. And 3 or 4 times a year, people lose billions of dollars by listening to these idiots. And I wish they'd stop doing it. The fundamentals are all there. There's nothing to change anything. And these are going much, much higher. I mean, the worst possible case for gold is somewhere between $2,400 and $3,000. And for silver, maybe $30 is the worst case. I mean, you look what you're looking at here. The whole world is upside down. Anyway, that's my question for the day. Do you have any?
I think a few came in. I had to get back to that screen now. But, and I'm going to bring this up, too, because we're talking about that as I'm bringing this up. When people talk about $20 gold, these guys say, don't get it, buy bullion, because you pay a lot higher premium. I'll tell you what, if you were buying your coins from some of these dealers, I'd agree with them. But you guys are really lucky to be buying those coins from me at my low commissions because you're not paying that high price. You're not paying that high premium. That's the premium they're talking about, is the commissions that these dealers charge. Bob, I had a lady who called me. I felt really bad for her. She got a set of coins. She called me maybe about 2 months ago. She asked me what my prices were. My prices were actually $300 lower than the place that had quoted these prices. Well, those are high-pressured salespeople, so she went with them even though she could have saved $300. Her loss. She calls me yesterday. True story. She calls me yesterday. Can you quote me these prices? I quoted these prices. I said, what'd you pay for them? She says, I paid about $13,800. It was something like that. I says, my prices would be $10,500. And it was a set of like six coins, five or six coins. So all they did is they winded her in, they reeled her in, they knew they'd get another deal out of her, and they whacked her, 40% commission. That's horrible. But that's what they're going to do. That's what they, and it's just like, you can't listen to these folks.
They're crooks.
They are. They don't know what they're talking about.
No, they're just high-pressure salesmen.
They don't care about any of you. Plus, there was a station in Memphis that ran a news program on a dealer out of Colorado. I think he's in there. They called it Praying on Faith. And it was on a TV station, Memphis, I think it was. I got the videotape of it. And they use Christianity. They use your faith to try to get you to buy coins. And just because it's a Christian network or just because it's a Christian this and that, doesn't mean that they're real. You know, I'm not judging them, but that's what they use. They'll pray, they'll preach, and in the end they'll tell you, you know, and it's just like, you can't look for the facts and always shop around. But they had a couple people that said that they paid a lot of money for their coins, and I was told by someone that knows that there was a lady that had $1 million that she bought coins. Took her over a year. And now she's getting paid back on monthly payments or something like that. So, just unbelievable.
Because they took her money and used it.
Yep. And he has his own.
They're all a bunch of crooks. You know, but the public doesn't understand. I mean, it's dreadful out there.
Here's one for you, Bob. This isn't from Tim. He would like you to explain treasury bonds. How are they bought and sold? How people make or lose money on them? He doesn't really understand how they work.
Well, you can buy treasury bills, notes, and bonds in the marketplace. They have a bond market. And the bills are 3 years and under. The notes are the 5 and 10 year, and the 7.5 year, or 7 year, whatever they got there. And then the bonds are the longer term, which would be 20 and 30 years bonds. And so they're different categories. They're very similar. And then the Treasury also has auctions once a month. It runs around $75,000 a month. $75 billion a month that they sell in new or rollover treasuries. And that is certainly substantial. And that figure is going to get bigger as they keep on borrowing more money. And, for all intents and purposes, America's broke. That's why gold and silver are so important. Gold's $13.94. It's pretty good. I wonder where all those newsletter writers are that said gold was going to 1,011 and 12 and 1250, and some very visible people were saying that it's going to cost them some subscribers. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember.
So what else? What's that?
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything to say.
All right. I remember some of these, one or two of these guys that were telling people in the 90s not to buy silver. Silver starts to move up, and all of a sudden they become experts, you know? It's horrible.
Well, you see a lot of that.
Yeah. Could you please comment on the Lord James Foundation X story that is breaking from the UK? What is really going on here? Is this just some ruse by the elites to inject coincidence into the UK economy by telling the masses that some foundation is willing to save the day? And do you know what the bigger picture is?
Well, I don't know anything about it. And I did receive something on it from England, and the link didn't work, so I didn't get to read it. And I sent a note back and said, send me the link. But there's obviously something to it. Well, we'll find out when it gets here.
Would it be smart to sell some of these at these prices to get my original investment back, keeping the rest, which would be virtually be free, or should I wait? I'm assuming he's talking about coins.
Yeah. And the answer is no. Because you will lose all your leverage doing that. You don't want to do that. Just stay long. What are you going to do, go in dollars? You're going to trade the market and lose?